Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to the Pet Show. Is your golden acting a bit gloomy? Are you mystified by your Maine Coon cat kitten? Has your Chihuahua totally taken over your life? Do I need to ask that? We know if you live with a Chihuahua, well, if your Chihuahua lets you live with them, you know they've taken over your life. Um, if you love your dogs, I'm assuming you do, you're listening to the Pet Show. Totally adore your cats. Again, I'm assuming you do. And really want to get inside their heads. Any good qualified pet guardian, pet owner, pet parent really want to understand what their dog or cat is doing and why they behave the way they do. Let's face it, they understand us much better than we understand them. So if you really want to figure out why they're doing some of the things they're doing, stay tuned because right now, right here, it is time for the Pet Show, America and Canada's first and only real pet psychology, pet training, pet behavior, and of course, pet lifestyle show. So hop up on my couch, bring those furry little buddies with you, folks. Yes, it is that time once again to let the animal analyzing begin. Hello, everyone. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is the Pet Show, the place where we absolutely, positively, no doubt about it, love, adore, and as I state every single week, respect pets and animals as much as you do. By the way, if you want to join me on the Evergrowing Pet Show family, if you have a question or a comment about your dog or cat's behavior, just want to brag about how incredibly bright your dog or cat is, or tell a story about a super dog or cat you rescued, great time. Give me a call. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 877-725-8255. That's 877-725-8255. That is the way to get through. We're going to take some calls here on the show. Also, now, what I've done, if you guys want to send me an email with your question, there's an easier way to do it. If you go directly to my website, thepetshow.com, don't forget that TH is important, thepetshow.com. Right when you go there, you'll see it'll say, Ask Warren. Go there. Type in what your question is for me, your information, and I'll try to get to as many of those emails on the air as I can. So if you have a question during the week or whatever, just shoot to thepetshow.com. It's free, of course, and just click on Ask Warren and send me your question. I'll try to get to answer as many as possible. Right now, if you want to find out why your dog is digging, jumping, your cat scratched your favorite chair, your cat doesn't get along with the other cat, it's like the Armageddon when they see each other, cat peed on your bed, when you tell your dog to come to you, it's like talking to the wind, he's humping everything he sees. You get the idea, right? That's what this show's all about. It really tries to let you understand why our pets in fact behave the way they do and understand how to resolve any situations in a positive way. Got to be honest with you. I would say that 85 to 90% of our pet problems and their issues are usually created by the people they live with. As I say on all my t-shirts, it's not easy living with people. It really isn't. And none of my friends walk upright as well. So busy show today. I'm glad you could join me. I got some great topics, plus I got some questions, some emails you guys sent me. Let me talk about some of the topics we're going to talk about on today's show, and hopefully I'm going to get time to do it. Number one, how many people have this problem? You go to feed your dog. You put down this beautiful, amazing food dish for your dog, and he proceeds to take a mouthful of food and decides to eat somewhere else, usually on the living room carpet, generally the Persian rug. I'm so often asked, why do so many dogs move their food away from their bowl before they eat it? A lot of people get angry at their dog. A lot of people try to figure out why it happens. Well, today, right here on the show, I am going to explain once and for all and give you some advice that just may get your dog back to his dinner bowl. 90% of the time. No one likes to eat in the same place all the time. Also coming up on today's show, hey, Warren, every question starts out that way. Hey, Warren, why is my cat being aggressive? Coming up, we're going to take an in-depth look today, and hopefully we'll have time. The aggressive cat, it doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't. Cats don't want to be aggressive. Very often, it's the people that make them that way. Understanding feline aggression, what you can do to help your cat be the best that they can be, coming up on the Pet Show as well. And I'm sure my engineer Phil will be listening very closely to that with his new adopted cat as well. Also coming up on today's show, God, this is a hard, but listen to me carefully, okay? If you ever had to use a restroom and there were none around, none whatsoever, how uncomfortable would you be? Do I need ask? Well, listen to me carefully. It's no different with our dogs. So I get this question often, and it varies from dog to dog, but I'm going to try to answer it on today's show. How long can your dog go without a potty break? How long can your dog go without a potty break? I've had people call me up. My dog can hold it for 12 hours. My dog can hold it for 8 hours. My blah, blah, blah. We're going to give you the definitive answer to that question coming up on today's show. As always, as I said, plenty of time to answer all of your questions and your comments. So again, if your dog is chewing, jumping on people, that rescued cat, bless you for doing that, decided that he's no longer going to use the litter box. That beautiful dog you took off the streets isn't housebroken. We're going to help you with that as well. Maybe that dog's suffering with depression, separation anxiety, abandonment issues. Cat scratched your favorite chair, and your dog says, you know what? I see it, so therefore I've got to hump it. Humping dogs. If you have a question about that as well, give me a call. 877-725-8255. I told you, I think it was last week. A little hot here in Phoenix today, so pardon me for dabbing off some sweat. The guy, a few months ago, actually asked me if his dog was gay because his dog was humping other male dogs at the park. I had to explain to him. I don't know if he bought my answer, but I had to explain to him. Maybe. No, I had to explain that it was more dominant behavior than it was actually any sexual behavior. And he should have his dog neutered anyway. But that was a legitimate question I got. Can dogs be gay? Maybe I'll answer that on the show one day. So I did the Howard Stern show years ago. One of my books came out, and he asked me that question as well. So, as I said, plenty of time for your questions and comments. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 877-725-8255, 877-725-8255. The question's kind of an interesting one. I get so many people saying, Warren, I would love to take my dog to the vet for teeth cleaning, for its regular vaccinations, just for, he's not feeling well, he doesn't look well, he's not eating. But the cost of going to the veterinarian is so expensive. So I'm going to talk, and I'll do a segment in the future about this. In fact, I got one coming up on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. But the question is, do vet costs prohibit you from seeing your veterinarian? Does the cost of veterinary medicine prohibit you from seeing your veterinarian? Did you know, I think it's something like 40%. I remember when I was growing up, all the little local towns had their own veterinarian, Dr. Joe, Dr. Harry, Dr. Sam, Dr. Jane, Dr. Sally. Now you see all these big corporations. So the question is that good or bad? They say now that 40% of veterinary hospitals across the country, I think that was the number, 40%, might be a little less, a little bit more, are owned by large investment groups, equity groups out of New York or Los Angeles. And is that a good thing or a bad thing? Some people say when they used to go to the vet would say, let's try this and see if it works. Now when they go to the vet, they want to do all kinds of blood tests and x-rays. And the cost factor can cost you to mortgage your car or house or sell your car. So does the cost of veterinary medicine prohibit you from seeing the vet as often as perhaps you should? Especially if you have an older dog or an older cat. They should see the vet a lot more often. As I said, plenty of time to answer your question. We've got some great emails coming. One email that was, I'm telling you, was 2 pages long. I'm not going to be able to answer the entire thing on the air, but I will answer part of it, and you'll see how I'm going to refer this listener to a good friend of mine that lives in her area that can guide her a little bit even further, because it would take me 2 hours just to answer email. But I'm going to try to get to as many of her topics as I can. Again, the number here at the Pet Show, 877-725-8255. If the lines are busy, you'll get a recording. You can always leave a message there, and I'll get to your call probably next week on this show, or you can send me an email. As I said, this is brand new. We just started this week. So if you go to my website, thepetshow.com, I think you'll enjoy the site as well. Maybe find out a little bit more about me than you might want to know. But anyway, on the top, you'll see right there when you go there, Ask Warren. Click on it, It'll give you a little thing to fill out in terms of your name, blah, 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 what your question is, and I'll try to get to as many of those on the next couple of shows as well. Let me do this. Let me take a quick break here. Then we'll get back, and I'm going to tackle some emails, and I'll tackle some phone calls as well. 877-725-8255. A quick break, then right back at your calls. You know, a lot of people know that I've been in the field of animal work my entire life. Not just my adult life, even as a kid. I mean, when I was 5 and 6 years old, I spent my time at a creek behind my house playing with muskrats and Canada. It was just an amazing growing up. Anyway, my love for animals has really been strong, and my trying to help as many as I can is just as strong. And this is where I ask every week for you to help me out. You know, I receive every week hundreds of emails and texts from, and we are back on the Pet Show. Phone number here, 877-725-8255. If you'd like to give me a call, if the phones are busy, you can always leave a message. If I don't get to it today, I'll try to get to it next week or so. Speaking of phone calls, I got a phone call this week, so let's go to Jerry from one of my favorite cities in America, beautiful Omaha, Nebraska, where I have an awful lot of family. I know I lost my Nebraska accent because I was raised in it, but I have my wife has a lot of family in Omaha. So let's go to Jerry in beautiful Omaha, Nebraska. Hey, Jerry, what's up?
I got about a 12-year-old cat recently diagnosed with diabetes. I've got him on Beck the cat, and he was great at taking it for a while. I'd mix it in with his treats, and now he spits them out. And about anything else I stick him in, and he spits it out.
You know, it's a great question, and I get this all the time. A lot of people have difficulty. They have an older dog or an older cat or even a mid-age or young one, and they try to give them medication. They may get it down once or twice, but then they have a problem after a while. So listening to your call, while I was listening, I jotted down a few things. Obviously, you want to start with the easiest option. What's the easiest option, Jerry? The easiest option is to try to hide the pill in the food. They have pill pockets. It's kind of a commercial product on the market. Some people swear by it. Some people swear at it. It's worth a try. Also, a small amount of high-value treats, tuna fish oil, tuna fish water, or other high-value treats like cream cheese, soft cheese, even a little pate might be beneficial. Even a tiny meatball may work for you. However, here's where people make the mistake. They go to give the pet the pill. That's your case, Jerry. It's a cat. And when they go to give the cat the pill, they take the pill and they might put it in a piece of food, and the cat detects it and spits it out, but he is aware that that's what you're trying to do. Always make sure you give a test bite a couple of times before you give the pill. Give him that little piece, whatever, with nothing in it before you actually give him the pill. You can also try coating the pill with something really, really smelly. Sometimes that works as well. Now, here's something that nobody talks about, or very few people talk about. Most areas across America have now what's called compounding pharmacies. They can take a medication and make it into a flavored liquid, a chewable treat, or even a transdermal gel. What that means is you can kind of put it in the ear and it's absorbed through the ear into the body. In fact, GoodRx has some common solutions for cats as well. So I think it's a great question. I really appreciate it, Jerry. Get the cat back on the medication. Worst scenario, maybe a compound pharmacy. Now, there are cases which are really severe where the pill or the liquid has to be forced, but that's very, very, very rare. And I'm so glad you're taking care of this 12-year-old cat, and bless you for doing it. Again, try some high-value treats. Number one, some cheese, some tuna, offer the test bite, as I said, and compounding pharmacies can be really, really important as well. Now, a lot of people have never heard the term compounding pharmacies, but because so many dogs and cats will take the pill the first time and go the second time and spit it out, it's important that they get their medication, just like we get our medication. So that's critical as well. A great call, by the way, Jerry. Really good call. I got a lot of emails to share with you guys. You guys are inundating with me emails. So if you want to get some response from me, just go to thepetshow.com, thepetshow.com, all one word, and shoot me an email there. Still coming up on the show today. If Jerry's call wasn't enough, I feel so guilty. I'm out on the road. I'm driving around, and I realize, oh, man, it's been a long time since I've been home to let Molly and Willie go outside to pee and poop. Am I bad? Is that my bad? Yeah, it is. So the question comes up often: how long, I don't even like the term. How I wrote this myself and I don't like it. How long can your dog last without a potty break? Is how dog long should your dog hold himself before you come home? If you've ever been stuck on a highway, and I've driven cross country many, 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 many times, and there's no bathrooms around, it's not a pleasant feeling. It really isn't. More so even if you're on a freeway in the city. Where do you go? What do you do? So how long is it fair to let your dog go without a potty break? 877-725-8255. I'm Warren Eckstein, and yes, you are listening to The Pet Show. Ah, puppy love. We are back on The Pet Show. Phone number 877-725-8255. So someone texted me this week, actually emailed me, and said, I love my dog. I adore my dog. He can do anything he wants. But I have a question for you. Warren, why, when my dog lies down and goes to sleep, does he curl up into a ball? No matter where he is, on my bed, on the floor, on the couch, in the back of the car, whenever he goes to sleep, he curls up like a ball. I know it's cute, but believe me, there's a lot more to it. Listen to me carefully. I'm going to share this on my YouTube channel, by the way. If you're not subscribed, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Subscribe. I do hundreds and hundreds of videos that might answer the questions. But anyway, dogs curl up in a ball for an ancient survival reason. The adorable curl up position that we all love, it's actually a wolf era instinct to protect vital organs and conserve heat while sleeping. Here's the deal. Protecting vulnerable areas by curling up, it helps protect sensitive areas like the belly, the bones, and it makes them feel more secure. So the next time your dog balls up, even though no one's going to hurt them, instinctively they're balling up because it makes them feel warm. It makes them feel much more secure. And at the same time, going back to ancient instinct, by balling up, they're actually protecting many of the sensitive organs in their body. Real important stuff there. I think that really is. Still coming up, by the way, on this show, we are going to take a look. And so many notes I wrote down for you guys this week. It's kind of interesting. The dog that moves their food away. I don't think cats do it as much as dogs do. I don't have too many cats that move their food. I do if there's a multiple cat household. Maybe they do, but not all the time. Now let me see. You know what? I got another email this week, and I'm gonna. I don't know if let me share it with you, and then we have to take a break. Hey, Warren, I adopted a 5-month-old calico from a rescue who was fostered from 5 weeks old. She just turned 1.5. She's a sweet cat, very affectionate, but she will freak out as if I try and hold her or pick her up. I know the foster had small kids and wonder if they hurt or dropped her when she was a baby. Will I ever be able to hold her? Other than that, one problem, she is the perfect cat. The perfect cat, but can't be held. Man, can I resolve that issue? So we're going to get to you, Lois, after this. The phone number, 877-725-8255, 877-725-8255, the way to get to. And again, if you want to email me your response to the question of the day, you can do that as well at thepetshow.com. Thepetshow.com. Go to Ask Warren, and I'll take your response. Do vet costs prohibit you from seeing your vet more frequently? Does the cost of going to your vet prohibit you from going more often? Let me tell you right now. And we are back on The Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Before we took that last break, I read an email from Lois in Delaware, a great state of Delaware, who adopted a 5-month-old calico kitten. She fostered him from 5 weeks old. He was fostered, the cat, from 5 weeks old, just turned 1.5 years. She's sweet, very affectionate, but it freaks out when being picked up. The previous people had kids. Yeah, she was possibility, kids are animated, they're loud, they might have picked the cat up and dropped it, but don't blame it on the kids. I know a lot of adult men and women that pick up a cat and just assume they can drop a cat from a foot or so off the ground. Not a good position, not comfortable. Also, a lot of people pick up the cat under the belly. Imagine being picked up under your belly and being held that way. So here's my advice. Number one, pass the cat every day. Just take your finger, one stroke under the belly, walk them away. Leave them wanting like your mother told you when you were dating, okay? Next day, maybe 2 strokes. A week later, 3 strokes. Little by little, if every time you go past her and touch her, nothing negative, in fact, something positive happens, a great treat or a good girl or a good boy, little by little, she will come around. I want to go a little bit further with you. So I got a break for the top of the hour. So when we come back, I'll go a little further with you. I also got an email from Larry in Michigan about a neutered male cat that wants to go outside. And we got some more phone calls coming in. Again, that number, 877-725-8255. So Lois from Delaware, bless you for rescuing this cat. We'll talk more about your cat and its fear of being picked up. And at the same time, we're also going to talk about that dog that no matter what you do, looks at his food dish, picks it up in his mouth, walks somewhere else, and decides to eat his food where it's more pleasurable. Quick break, then we'll get right back to your calls and your texts. I'm Warren Eckstein. You're listening to The Pet Show. 877-725-8255. The phone number again. Don't forget to ask me at thepetshow.com. Ask me at thepetshow.com. I'm Warren Eckstein, and yes, you are listening to The Pet Show. And if you love your dogs and love your cats, you have come to the right place. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. We've been talking to each other we've got a lot of new affiliate radio stations around the country. I've been talking to you about your pets now for those new people for almost 50 years. For those of you that may not know my background, let me give it to you a little bit. I trained for years for forces in Europe and advanced Schutzen training and ring sport training and military police departments over there. I studied at the University of Frankfurt. I've written 11 books on behavior. I was the pet and animal authority on NBC's Today Show for 15 years. Regis and Kathy Lee for almost 20 years. And for those of you people that remember the new Mickey Mouse Club, I was the creature keeper, and my Mouseketeers were Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Justin Timberlake. And I also was called in as an advisor and drove cross-country right after Ground Zero to advise the NYPD Canine Unit on some of the work they were doing. And so that's just some of my background. And I've trained probably 8 to 10,000 dogs of my own of people over the years. Also the head instructor for the YMCA. So anyway, that's a little bit about my background. I love what I do, as you can tell. I'm enthusiastic about what I do. But my main concern at this point in my life is saving animals. And by saving animals, I don't mean just rescuing animals or taking them out of shelters and off the streets, which, by the way, is an amazing thing to do. But even people that have their dogs and even people that already have their pets, they have questions and they love their dogs, they love their cats, but for little quirks their dog or cat may have, they may not be enjoying them 100%, which they could be doing. So that's what we do here on the show. We help, if you're new to the show, we help people resolve issues that they may be having with their pets, issues that their pets may be having with the people, have a little fun along the way, but try to make life as great as we possibly can, and the relationship as positive as we possibly can between the animals we love, those of us that walk upright and those of us that don't. Now, I was talking, I read an email, and I'm going to read it again, from Lois from the great state of Delaware. She adopted a 5-month-old calico kitten from a rescue who was fostered from 5 weeks old. She's had the cat now. It's just turned 1.5 years, so my math sucks, but she's had the cat for a good period of time. She says she's sweet, adorable, affectionate, but freaks out if you try to pick her up or hold her. Now, she said she knew the foster people had small kids. Maybe she was held incorrectly or dropped as a baby. That's all part of it. But there's other things involved too. She was being fostered, so she was separated from her litter. You adopted her at 5 months old. She associates being picked up and taken away from her litter mates or her mom by you. Bless you for adopting her, by the way. But you hit the nail on the head. You know, cats are really, really sensitive little critters. People think they're not. Oh, your cat ate lives. No, they don't have 9 lives, okay? They have 1, just like you and me. But a lot of people pick up a cat from the belly, and that hurts. Try to pick yourself up from the belly and tell me how much you enjoy it. Or a lot of men, and I don't want to blame just men, but a lot of men do this. They'll pick up a cat and they're sitting on the couch and they'll drop the cat from couch level, thinking that's cool. No big deal, it's a cat. No, that hurts. That hurts his feet. It does. We have to be a lot more gentle with them. So, Lois, now that I talked about how it got here, what can you do to resolve it? In my cat book, my best-selling cat book, How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want, I talk about this an awful lot. Number 1, the most important thing that we can do is build up the dog's confidence. It sounds to the cat's confidence. It sounds to me like you've done that. The cat's affectionate, he loves you, but the one quirk, he doesn't like to be picked up. So we need to focus on what's called counter conditioning. Make him think that what he associates being picked up with is negative right now. Let's turn that into a positive. A quick finger on the belly before you feed him. A quick finger on the belly and walk away before you give him a treat. This all starts him associating positive things with being touched. Once you've got to the point where he's letting you put a finger on the belly, then 2 fingers and walk away, little by little, build up that confidence gradually. It'll make all the difference in the world. Then once you've gotten to the point where he doesn't mind being touched underneath, put your hand underneath and don't lift him, but kind of just put a little pressure on it and walk away. Week later, a little bit more. So the bottom line is this. With my background as a behaviorist, anything that happens overnight doesn't last. Gradually, and again, the term is counter conditioning, he associates being picked up obviously with something negative. It could be psychological, as it being taken away from his litter mates or his mom, or it could be physical, the way he was handled when he was a young kitten, because they learned through association. But either way, this is a resolute problem. This is a problem that we can resolve. It's not that difficult. A lot of patience, a little time, maybe a glass of Chardonnay. You'll get through it, I promise. By the way, you can check out the cat book. There's a lot of information on it. It's available on my website, thepetshow.com. But there's a lot of free videos there as well that will guide you through that. Great email, by the way, Lois, and I really do appreciate those emails that I get. And just a reminder that if you want to send me an email question, you can send it 24/7. I just send it to mail, or rather not, send it to the website. We changed that over. We just started this week, so pardon my slip-up. You can send your emails or absolutely just leave them for me at my website, thepetshow.com. All one word, thepetshow.com. Right on the front page, you'll see in big letters, big photo of me. Don't let that scare you. You'll see big letters, Ask Warren. Click on it. You'll see a little form pop up. Fill out your questionnaire, whether you want to ask me a question or tell me whether you don't see the vet as often because it's too expensive. We will take a look at that as well. So it's thepetshow.com. The phone number here, 877-725-8255. Again, if we are busy on the phones, leave a message. And I will try to respond to some of those phone calls on the air as well. And the reason I gave a little bit of my background at the beginning is only because we have a lot of new affiliates, and I wanted to understand that the advice that I'm giving you is advice that I've been working on for, God knows, 50 some odd years. And I think the one difference is I always look at it from the pet's perspective. You know, a lot of people in my profession, this is how you resolve the problem. Stop the dog from chewing. Stop the cat from this. Stop the dog from doing. I always try to figure out what's the target? What's the trigger? What's causing that behavior? Because very often, if you can figure out what causes it, it makes it a whole lot easier and the resolution a lot longer lasting. So if you notice, if you're new to the Pet Show, I try to figure out the whys, not just the way to resolve it, but why is the problem there in the first place? And that was perfect for what Lois just said. Speaking about that, when we come back, we're going to talk about why your dog is moving their food bowl. And also, I want to talk a little bit about aggressive cats. We got some more phone calls that came in and another email I got from Larry in the great state of Michigan. But let me do this. Let me take a quick break. That number 877-725-8255. Again, if we're not busy, if we are busy, just leave a message and I'll try to answer your call next week on the phone. Last year I did an amazing trip. I drove the Oregon coast. I've never been there, or I've been in Washington State, California, but kind of Oregon, other than the city of Portland. I never really seen it. What a beautiful state it is. Anyway, I got a phone call from, in fact, she's calling right now, Cheryl, from the great state of Oregon. So, Cheryl, what's up?
I want to know, how can I get this dog who was so well behaved at first, how can I get her to stop digging in my yard and destroying my plants and anything else I have out there? I even saw her, she destroyed a glass vase and she started chewing on the glass. She's pulled like a cable out of the ground. She's chewing on plants. Is this anxiety or something? I don't know what it is. I just want her to go in the yard. And then she even shimmied underneath the fence and the neighbors had to bring her back. How do I get her to just stay in my yard and behave herself?
Cheryl, this is anxiety for you. Let me explain a few things to you. Dogs who have all of their needs met, who are both physically and mentally stimulated sufficiently, are far less likely to dig. Punishment is never the answer. So let's go over it step by step. You have a backyard. The dog goes in the backyard. Now, this is going to sound eccentric, and heaven forbid I should sound eccentric, Cheryl, but hear me out. Go into your backyard, get down on all fours, crawl around the backyard. Tell me how interesting it is for you. What do you see? What's interesting? What changed there from yesterday? It's the same Tuesday, the same Wednesday, the same Thursday. Perhaps your dog needs a whole lot more mental stimulation. The escaping fact, the digging up the yard fact, the anxiety, all of that is part of it. It could be that, I don't know, you didn't let me know on the phone if it was the dog was abandoned or whatever. And so if it was an abandonment issue, maybe he's trying to get away. But it sounds to me the dog needs a more interesting backyard. So let me go over a few things with you. Digging. Well, dig this. Dogs have to dig. And stopping a dog from digging is like telling a child not to use their hands. It's wrong, and the more you try to yell and scream and use negative, the worse it's going to get. If you were to go to my backyard right now, you would see a kiddie pool in the yard. It's filled with sand, it's filled with dirt. I go out there every day and I put new things in there for the dogs to find. So when they have this need to dig, they have their own sandbox to go to and dig. Now you have a large dog, maybe a couple of sandboxes, but give them the option. If they don't have the option, of course they're going to dig your rhododendrons up. That's number one. Make the backyard interesting. Hide toys, hide treats in the backyard for them to find to keep their focus there. I have a tetherball in my backyard for my guys to play with. Yeah, they're little, the tetherballs down to the ground. It's important that you give them the opportunity for that mental stimulation. It sounds to me, between digging up the yard, trying to escape, the anxiety part, it all sounds to me, and I love the fact, Cheryl, that you adore this dog, but it all sounds to me like your focus, like what I was talking about earlier, you focus on how do I stop it rather than why is it there. The digging is probably due to boredom or lack of exercise. The digging under the fence is probably due to some abandonment issue, or maybe the backyard being bored. It's more exciting at the neighbor's yard. Or he sees another dog walk by that has all this freedom. He's walking by with their owner. I don't know if you walk the dog or not. You didn't leave that for me. Anyway, I've never met a dog that I couldn't stop digging up the backyard. I never met a dog that I couldn't stop escaping from a backyard if the backyard was as interesting as what else is going around. So, hide things in the backyard, give him his own little places to dig in the backyard, change them every day, hide the toys. You know, it's not like the dogs of the 50s that I grew up with. Dogs are kind of like kids nowadays. You know, yeah, our dogs are not on iPhones, but they need more stimulation than the past. They're left alone a lot more. When I was a kid growing up, I was home after school. My mother was home after school. My friends were over the house. I was spending time with the dogs. Now what happens? Most kids come home and they got soccer practice or they're going online somewhere. I'm not knocking that. It's great, but you need to spend time. You need to separate time and make sure that your dog has that ability to alleviate that stress and anxiety. Great call, by the way. If you need more info, again, I'm not pushing my YouTube channel. Maybe I am. Go to my YouTube, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, and you'll see some great videos on digging as well. It was a great call, by the way, from Oregon. And the reason I like the call is it gave me the opportunity to go over what I was talking about earlier. Any good trainer, any good behaviorist, any good anybody always tries to figure out the cause before the resolution. And so that's exactly what we did here. It sounds to me like the dog is just not getting the mental stimulation that it should be getting. In fact, I was going to talk about this later, and maybe I'll talk about it when we come back. I just wrote this for my YouTube, and I was going to share it with you guys today. And basically, I wrote, give them a mind and a body boost. Give them a mind and a body boost. Just the other day, I noticed that my own Molly and Willie, they've been in the house a lot. It was hot in the summer here where I live in Arizona. I got to take them out certain times. And I noticed they were a little bored, so we took a little hike together. Of course, I carried an air horn with me because I'm surrounded by coyotes. So, yeah, there are so many things. So, again, I hope that helps you out. Give me a call back. We can go a little bit further if we have to. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 877-725-8255. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. I love my listeners. I have the greatest listeners in the world. I've been talking to you guys, I got 50 years. God, I must have started when I was 11. All right, before we go any further, I got a couple of more emails I want to share with you. I want to talk to you about, I teased it, why dogs move food away from their bowl. Again, this is another topic eventually I'll share on YouTube, but I want to share it with you guys now. A lot of dog owners notice that their dogs sometimes move food away from their bowl when they're eating. They move it to somewhere else. Why do they do that? Number one, it could be what we call in the profession resource guarding, protecting valuable resources. It's a natural behavior where a dog tries to protect its food to prevent others from taking it. It often develops at an early age. So you're saying, well, there's no other dogs in the house, just the dog, one dog. It develops at an early stage when they're puppies, when there's a bunch of puppies around and the mom has only so many teeth she can feed the puppies with. So very often, some of the puppies will become a little possessive or protective and of their food, and sometimes that can cause it. Now, a lot of people feed their dogs in the kitchen, and that's fine. That's where I feed my dogs. But a lot of dogs look for a quiet and comfortable place away from distractions. TV, radio, people talking, people yelling, people screaming. They want a quiet, comfortable place. Eating to them is, again, a little bit of survival. So some of them will move their food to a quiet, comfortable place, usually the most expensive carpet. Now, if you've seen that show on TV called Hoarding, yeah, there are dogs that hoard. There's a couple of types of hoarding, but hoarding or saving food for later is a possibility. Another thing that a lot of people don't understand, it could be that their dog totally dislikes the type of food dish. People use plastic food bowls. It retains the odor, has plastic in it. Not a great idea. So, and a lot of dogs don't like to eat with their head way down, so they move their food to a higher place. So it might be the type of food dish. Again, it could be intimidation from other dogs during feeding as well. So, again, there is where I differ. I just gave you the reasons. Now I'm going to give you the resolutions. Number one, provide a calm feeding area, a calm environment, a quiet, low-traffic area in the house to feed your dog. Usually the kitchen is the highest traffic, at least in my house. Secure the food bowl. Use non-slip mats and bowls designed for comfort and stability. Prevent your dog from moving them around. If you have more than one dog, avoid competition. Feed each dog out of 2 bowls. Separate them by a foot or 2. Now, if worse comes to work, if your dog's food-moving behavior is accompanied by anxiety and stress or loss of appetite, then you might want to see a vet. Might want to use positive reinforcement, encourage them while they're eating. But again, a lot of I don't know about you, but I'm one. You would never know that I grew up in New York by the way I live my life. I hate crowds. If I would prefer eating by myself or with my wife, just the two of us, than any other place. You can give me a 5. Well, I don't eat that kind of food anyway. But you can give me a 5-course dinner somewhere, and I prefer sitting in my backyard with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's just me. So some people and some animals really like to eat quietly in private, and they should have that opportunity, at least as far as I'm concerned. All right, so I get a, you know what? There's another call coming. Let's go to Verena. I don't know where she's calling from. Verena, welcome to the Pet Show.
Are you still producing the 4-in-1 hugs and kisses for dogs?
You know, great question. And for years, for those people that have been listening to me for all these years, know I had my own vitamin mineral supplement on the market called Hugs and Kisses Vitamin Mineral Supplement Treats 4-in-1. They were around for years and years and years and years, and they were manufactured by someone I knew very well in Southern California. I talk to him constantly. If I can't talk to the CEO, I'm not going to have them make my product or advertise them. So what happened was he sold the company that manufactured my product to a foreign company based in Sweden. Can't talk to them, don't know who the CEO is. So after all the years, it was time to let go. However, Verena, I've been hearing a lot of good things about a supplement called Carnivora, Carnivora. Carnivora. You can go to their website, carnivora.com. Carnivora.com. Again, Carnivora.com. Now, they've been a sponsor here on the show now for a few weeks, and I got to tell you, I'm getting great response from some of my listeners. So check it out. So the answer to your question is no, I'm no longer involved with manufacturing the Hugs and Kisses vitamin mineral supplement. I wish I were, but you know, it was just your dog safety, your cat safety is my main concern. And the bottom line is if I couldn't make sure that the quality was where I wanted it to be, I decided that it was no longer worth doing. Phone number here at the Pet Show, 877-725-8255, 877-725-8255. That is the way to get through to the Pet Show. So let's talk a little bit about the aggressive cat. And it doesn't have to be that way. I get so many people calling me about aggressive cats. Cats don't want to be aggressive. They want to be your friend. They want to be socialized. It's really important to take your cat's body language. You always want to give them the option to remove themselves if they're uncomfortable, if their ears are pulled back or to the side, if you notice their tail is twitching, if they're puffed up fur, if they're hissing or they're growling, if they're licking their lips a lot, if they're swatting at you with ears pulled back, slow and wary movements, running away from people. Now, it doesn't have to be that way. Those are just some of the ways cats will react when you're assuming that they're aggressive. Tail twitching, hissing, excessive licking. We're going to take a break. And again, when we come back, I've given you the reasons. Where I differ is I'm going to give you the results. So if you're living with an aggressive cat, how can you calm that cat down? What can you do to make the cat less aggressive? I'm telling you, your cats don't want to be aggressive. Your cats don't want to be by themselves. Your cats want to be part of the family. But sometimes the aggressive behavior is due to fear. It's due to anxiety. It's due to reasons. But if you figure out what the cat's body language is saying to you, then you can easily make the resolution. A phone number, 877-725-8255, 877-725-8255. That is the way to get through. You know, mental enrichment should be on every pet owner's resolution list for the new year. As a behaviorist, so many of the behavior issues I deal with are just the fact that we don't let our dogs and cats have the enrichment mentally. Yeah, we exercise them, we play with them, we may even train them. But they need changes. They need things like sniff walks. Take them on a special walk to a different neighborhood. Training refreshes. No one has ever trained for life. You got to refresh them. Teach them something new. New toys. Dedicated cuddle time. You really want to support your dog's emotional well-being. So many issues I deal with are just dogs that are not feeling that comfortable, and we can make all the difference in the world. So taking care of your dog's mind is just as important as taking care of their body. Very often, a dog that's stressed out, or a cat is not matter, or even a human being that's stressed out, it can really, really affect their physiological being as well. And at the same time, by strengthening your dog's body and mind, your bond will be closer and stronger than ever before, I promise. Again, I'm saying this a lot today only because it's kind of new, and a lot of people have been saying, how do I ask you a question? Well, obviously, I can't answer them all. That's why I wrote books. That's why I have the YouTube channel. Okay? But I've opened up my website where now you can go to my website, thepetshow.com. Again, it's all one word. I know people don't want to do that, but type in the Pet Show, all one word. On the front page, you'll see Ask Warren. If you have a question or a comment, if you love me, if you hate me, whatever, you can send it to me there. I'll go through those, and I'll pick out a few to respond to on the show every week. So again, go to thepetshow.com, thepetshow.com, and you'll see a form. Fill it out. And even if you want to answer the question of the day, and I know I've gotten a lot of people saying to me, Warren, do vet costs prohibit you from seeing your vet? And I think they do. I think I talked about it in the first hour where I said that it's like 40%. I'm not sure. I think I said 40%, somewhere in that neighborhood, of veterinary practices are now owned by financial equity firms. A lot of the dog foods, financial equity firms as well. So, again, we're going to talk more about it. I'd like to get your take, though. Is the cost of veterinary medicine prohibiting your taking your dog or cat to the vet? Quick break, then we'll get back to some more calls and some emails. Calypso Dog. So, we were talking before about aggressive cats, and I gave you all the reasons that you should look for to see detect if your cat is being aggressive. Let me give you some resolutions. Here's some of the reasons. Changes within the environment. Cats are really, really sensitive to change in the environment. I talk about that in my cat book as well. New pets moving, furniture changed, new carpeting, just had your rugs cleaned, changing your routine, new job, new hours. All of those can affect the cat's behavior. Sometimes overstimulation is a problem as well. Some cats have a low tolerance for petting and handling, so they feel overstimulated. They may react with anger. So if you're petting a cat and all of a sudden they get anger, you need to find that point where you need to stop petting your cat and let them go away. Forcing it, they're not aggressive at that point. They're just overstimulated, just reacting instinctively. Health issues. Your cat can become aggressive if there are health issues. It could be worth a trip if all of a sudden you notice changes going to your vet. Here's some tips. Give them space. Allow your cat some time alone to cool off. Avoid forcing interaction until they seem more relaxed. You can use pheromones. They got these plug-in pheromones, which are great, or sprays to calm your cat. Engage in play. Once your cat seems calmer, try engaging them in play with their favorite toy or their favorite item. All of that can make a difference for your cat as well. So I get so tired of people saying, well, my cat is aloof, my cat is aggressive, my cat doesn't want to play, my cat doesn't want to be around me. Nonsense. I say nonsense. If you take the time, and I got to be honest with you, of all the 11 books I've written, probably the best-selling book is the cat book, because cats have been so misunderstood. It's thought that cats are not as smart as dogs. I think cats are just as smart, sometimes smarter. I think cats have taken the opportunity to convince you and I that they can't be trained, just so we get off their backs and leave them alone. But cats can be trained. They can be educated. Just a matter of realizing how to do it and to make the cats a whole lot more comfortable. I love cats. As a matter of fact, I have an email that I'm going to share with you when we come back. From Larry in the great state of Michigan about a 1-year-old neutered male cat that begs to go outside but then runs across the busy street? Interesting question. So the question is going to come up, and I'm sure Larry's going to not like my response, but should a cat be let outdoors nowadays? When I was growing up, cats in the neighborhood. Yeah, the cats were in the neighborhood. They'd go outside, they'd come inside. That was years ago. I used to stay outside. Now we're dangerous with our kids going outside. It's dangerous for our pets to go outside. So let me respond to Larry from Michigan when we come back. Right now, let me take a quick break, and then we'll get to Larry's response. We'll get a respond to Larry as well. So our response. We got cats. So I'm not going to have time to respond, Larry, but I want you to listen next week. I promise I'll respond then. He says, hey, Warren, our 1-year-old neutered male cat begs to go outside, but he runs across our busy residential street and sometimes lays down in the street, hear the cars honking, and know he's crossing again. Other cats we've had go to the same neighbor's house over the years. We've lost our cats crossing the street over the years. How can we stop this? Some kind of shock collar? Thank you. I love you, Larry. Next week, I want you to definitely listen to the show because you're not going to like me after the show, what I have to say. The only shock collar we need, maybe, Larry, is on the door or you for letting the cat out. It's interesting. So the question is going to come up next week. Should I let my cat out or not? I'm writing it down because it's the topic I want to talk about. Should I let my cat out or not? We are just about out of time for this week. Just remember, you can send me an email. Just go to my website, thepetshow.com. You send an email there. Just click on Ask Warren. Until next week, you know what to do by now, right? Give all of your pets a big hug and a kiss for you, and a special hug and a kiss right between the ears for me. I'm Warren Eckstein, and bless you and thank you for listening to The Pet Show.